I was sexually assaulted by Adam Bennett, who was the head of the motion picture department at William Morris Endeavor.
So if this could happen to Terry Crews, which is a very large, intimidating man, super muscular, always working out, physically fit, this shows you that these directors, they don't care about none of that. They are using the opportunity that you want something from them, which is a job. And they're going to take that power that they have, and basically your muscles don't mean anything at this point.
What happens is with actors, you're in a vulnerable situation. You know, you're in a vulnerable place, you're trying to get a job, and there's people who, and it's not just actors, it's any men in positions of power who could use that power to abuse it. And, you know, when I was
looking for a job?
When I was a young actor, yeah, I was asked to go to a hotel room of a director. There was a famous director, and I didn't think anything weird by it because anything had ever happened to me. And so I went, and he was in his robe. I still didn't think it was weird. Well, he probably just came out of the shower or whatever. And then he asked me to do, you know, to do the scene and then crawl on my belly around it. And it got to a weird place. And I just, when this stuff started coming out with Harvey Weinstein, I did remember that feeling of disgust and
did you reveal
humiliation.
Now, y'all can't tell me that Rob Schneider interview isn't wild. We all remember this guy for being the weirdest guy from the Animal movie back in the day, right? And he just told y'all what he had to go through just to get this role. And that gotta be crazy. You know how many people's dreams are being killed when they hear these type of interviews from some of their favorite actors and actresses? And not for nothing, a lot of people still go on to pursue these quote-unquote dreams and aspirations because they want it that bad. They want the fame and all these things that bad, and they're willing to go through it. Most people, they know what's to come, but they just want that shot.
I found when I was a 16-year-old, fresh from boarding school, going out into, you know, on the casting couch, I was definitely objectified to an extreme. And when I
was it the way you made you feel, you were made to feel, or the way you were treated? The
way I was made to feel, the way I was exploited, and the kinds of roles and the kinds of things I was expected to do in auditions. I mean, there was one horrific incident where I went back for a second audition. It was a screen test. There were two other people in the room, the director, who I'd seen previously, and the casting director, who was a woman. And the director asked me to sit with my legs apart. The camera was right between, you know, positioned where it could see up my skirt, to put my leg over the arm of the chair, and before I started my dialogue, think about the character that I was supposed to be having the dialogue with, and how it felt to be made love to by this person. And I was thinking, this is so strange. Why would I need to do that? But this is the director. He is talking. You know, there's the casting director.
It must be normal.
It must be normal.
This lady, Thandiwe Newton, was only 18. I don't even understand how parents is okay with sending their kids off to these type of Hollywood castings by themselves without being present. I know you're 18, which is an adult, but you're not really an adult. Legally you are, but to go sit in front of some adults that have different intentions, that don't make no sense. I found a clip on TikTok of a woman showing up in her daughter's place and telling the director, my daughter's not coming here. And the guy starts shutting off the cameras because he had different intentions of what was going to happen.
You think these artists that make all this money are free men and women? They're minstrels from a plantation. All your black sports figures are pieces of meat bought and sold, but not
So clearly this is not an isolated incident. We've seen different actors, different actresses talking about the same exact scenario with different directors. And Farrakhan, as y'all can see, has spoken about this a long time ago. That's vintage footage that y'all just saw. And what he said is actually kind of scary. Imagine you achieved the success that you thought you wanted, but now that success has became your prison because you done did something that you're not spiritually aligned with, and whoever has a tape or some type of recording of you doing something that you wouldn't want the world to see. Could you imagine that? So you asked for the success, you got the success, but then they use the success as a weapon against you. If you want to stay here, you got to keep doing whatever we say to do. That's one of the scariest things about that. Like he said, these people are cattle that's being sold. They're like meat being sold and passed around to the top people in those industries. Who wants to live like that? Let me know in the comments. Are you willing to trade your life that you have right now for some success that's controlled in a way where someone else has power over your life of that magnitude? If you don't do what they say, the show is over.
What's the Hollywood couch you were referring to?
The Hollywood couch turns into won't say that. Turns into, okay, with respect to Evan Campbell. You know, some people don't know where they're gonna go as far as the music. But because you are very sexual, people take advantage of that. Because you are very beautiful inside of your sexual aspect, people take advantage of that. And then you turn into this, that. That's the couch, you know. It takes the Ving rhymes and makes him say, hey, I'm gonna go do this movie with Bruce Willis. Okay, and now I'm getting up the butt.
Yeah, and I know we all try to write off Orlando Brown. Only reason why they put him in that dark place is because he's the only one that basically has nothing to lose. He has no more strings attached to Hollywood. And this is why he speaks so openly. And from Terry Crews to Rob Schneider, Thandiwe Newton, and countless other amount of actors and actresses that spoke on this, a lot of the Disney cast had a lot to say about the directors and their behaviors on set and behind the scenes. So this is not just fiction anymore. This is real stuff going on in Hollywood. And people still sign up. Don't ask me why. They still do it. They still do it, and they still believe that what's happened to other older actors and actresses is not going to happen to them. But these people are like vampires. Remember the movie Sinners? That's exactly what these people are. They're going to see how hungry you are for whatever you're trying to chase. And they're going to use that as leverage to get what they want from you. How bad do you really want this? And they're going to flip that on you. And if you're with it that much, guess what? They're going to get you to do some things that you don't even agree with, and then hold that as blackmail against you in the end, so you could keep pleasing their, I'm not going to say fetishes, but just keep pleasing whatever they want you to do or keep doing for you to keep striving and succeeding in those industries. So believe it or not, We heard Farrakhan. That was spot on. That's why we see the basketball players, football players, all these athletes be dressing in the weirdest things, musicians, artists dressing a certain way, following a certain agenda, painting their nails. That's not by accident. It's by design. They were put in a compromising position to do what they were told by the higher ups. I'm out.